What's up, everybody? The Scene Snob here, Mick Manhattan, with another edition of the Scene Snob reviews. But now I have the lovely Mrs. Scene Snob here, Mary, my beautiful wife, and we just got back from seeing Cats. That's right, the best reviewed movie of 2019 and the first day of 2020.
Best picture contender, best costumes,
I don't know what the
best
Golden Globes
song,
were thinking.
best actor.
This movie was the worst experience I've ever had at a movie theater. And that's not even getting into having seen Cats yet. That was just the people talking, flashlights everywhere. It was very weird, very unlike the theater that we go to normally.
Yeah, we won't call them out because it generally is an amazing experience, but
I'm sure you can put it together through the videos or the pictures on our Instagram.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's just start there because hopefully you guys will give us a like and a subscribe and check out our podcast because we're also going to do a full review on our podcast, Marriage Like That.
Yep.
So check that out on thescenesnobs.com. Thescenesnobs.com. I always mess that up.
Yeah.
But
I always do too when I go to look at it.
Yeah. I like it though. It rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
And make sure you give us a follow at Mary the Mommy on Twitter and Instagram, and I am at the Scene Snob for more information and such. Or you can hit us up at the Scene Snobs page on Facebook. Give us a like there. With that being said, I don't want to go on too long about this movie.
I mean, we could talk about
we will on the podcast.
If I could form words, I could talk about it for longer probably, but I'm still not sure what was going on. I'm still not sure of the plot. I'm still not sure who everybody was.
What I gathered from it, now Cats was a show for me growing up. I always saw the commercial for Cats because I grew up right across the river in New Jersey from Broadway, and they always showed this commercial. It was always on, and
Cats on Broadway.
Yeah, I knew people who owned the T-shirt.
Running show.
You know, this thing ran from 1982 to 2000.
Yeah.
On Broadway. And Broadway's longest running show. Now, I worked on loadouts and load-ins for Cats when it was shown, when I worked in the theater. Now, I didn't work in Broadway. Of course. This is actually after 2000.
High school theater?
No, well, I did work in high school theater, but this was actually college. This was a college theater I worked for.
And it was a theater college, so it wasn't just like the little theater department in a real college.
No, this wasn't Full Sail, where I went for film school.
Okay.
This was an actual college. Well, no, Full Sail's a real college. You're throwing me. This is a movie review. Anyway, I did work for
I know that Full Sail is a real college.
I worked at a college. It is a real college. University. No, I worked at a college, and they had a big theater department.
Okay.
And they did Cats at one time. And I just did the loadout and load-in. I didn't work the show. I worked many other shows, but I did not work Cats. So I never really saw it. I did see the 1998 video parts, because when you work in musical theater, people play things. And that's one thing they played. So
I've never seen... You know, I told you a little bit earlier, I've never seen the movie, the play. I've never heard any of the songs like in full edition, unless they were, poking at it. The previews had David Letterman, how he, parodied it a couple of times. But no, I have nothing to base it on. This is my first and only Cats experience.
I will say this. It was a horrible movie. I don't say that about a lot. I always try to look for the merit in movies. I was not excited to go see this at all because of the reviews it's been getting. And we walked out we didn't walk out of the movie. We stayed for the whole thing because I won't review anything if I walk out.
We definitely stayed. We definitely stayed the whole time.
But I will say, I gauge the time of a movie on the theater we go to when we get the check.
Right.
And usually when it's a good movie and they deliver the check, I'm like, wow, is this movie almost over? Like, that's crazy. Like, it seems like it's going so fast. I I found myself saying to myself during the movie, why hasn't the check come yet? Is this movie so? Because it comes
we haven't
40.
gotten the check yet.
Yeah, it comes 40 minutes before the movie ends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why hasn't this check come yet? Because that means I still have another 40 minutes from when it comes. And when I would ask those questions, there was still like 30 minutes before they gave me the check. So like 5 minutes into this movie, I'm like, I'm tapped out. It just starts really weird. Everything about it is weird.
So weird. And then I found myself like a couple of times. So the main character who is new, Francesca, I believe.
No, well, her name is Francesca Hayward, the actress, but her name in the movie was Victoria.
Well, she's a ballerina.
Yes. And she was a talented dancer. Everybody who danced was a talented dancer.
Correct. But the thing is, so I didn't know she was a ballerina. I knew she was new, but I didn't know she was a ballerina by trade. And the whole time I was like, wow, like I would get lost because she's gorgeous, her
that little face that isn't a weird cat body is, yes, she's very beautiful.
And like she had a very pretty mouth when she sang, and you got some pretty lips. And her dancing, but then I would, like, something would catch my eye, like I would get lost and I'd be like, wait, why do they have human feet? Or what is wrong with their heads? Or why hasn't she said anything yet? Like it took forever for her to even say it was bizarre.
You had every other character.
Who are all these other cats? And why are some of them dressed and some of them naked? And some of them have shoes only on their feet and not on their hands, which are human hands.
All right, they have human hands, they have human teeth, human lips,
human feet. Some
all
of them had
weird.
Painted nails, like long acrylic Jersey style nails.
Stop making fun of Jersey.
I love Jersey.
So they had all of these things and more. It was very weird. Their faces were almost like deep faked onto whatever body was being used, whether it was theirs or not. I don't know, but it still looks like the visual effects in this movie were horrible. I don't know how they got away with this. And this is supposedly a version that we went and saw that was a fixed visual effects version.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So
what did they fix though?
I want to see
what the original one look like.
Yeah, I want to see what the original looked like. No, I don't.
And was it a comedy? Was it a drama? Were they serious when they took this role? Were they like, this is going to be a life-changing experience? Or were they like, this is it seemed it was a joke?
Like, to explain to it a little bit more is, now, of course, any especially a Broadway show or any theater show for that matter, not just Broadway, you can have comedy and you can have drama in both, and we know that. It's a matter of this, like, do you take the show seriously?
Right.
Do you take there can be comedy and drama in both, but is the show being taken seriously?
Right.
And it did
not. Or do they realize it's a?
Yeah, it did not seem like. I know for a fact that the Broadway show, the actors always took it seriously.
Right.
This movie did not seem like it was taken seriously by every actor in it.
Right. Did they have dancing mice and dancing cockroaches on Broadway?
Oh, I didn't see Broadway. Remember, I saw
unzip their cat suit, which looked like a normal, weird. But then had a dance.
Yeah, like Rebel Wilson's character just at one point unzips her fur. Like everything is supposed to be their fur. That's supposed to be their bodies. Like
a cat.
Yeah, like a cat. Like even like they're wearing jackets and like they would take them off and it's like.
But then their cat
it makes no sense because you're saying that's their fur. So why are they taking their coats off? And she didn't just take a coat off. She had, it's like she was wearing a bodysuit that didn't have a zipper the entire time, but then all of a sudden she unzipped it, and then she was wearing human clothes.
Right.
It was so bizarre. This whole movie was bizarre. And we're going way too far into this than I want to, because I want to keep this short. And if you want to hear the full review, check out our podcast, A Marriage Like That podcast. But do yourselves a favor, don't see this movie. And I don't say that often. No. I say maybe everybody will. If I always say, whoever asks me or whatever review I'm doing, you may have a different opinion. Mm-hmm. Let me know. I'm open to changing my mind about things. This is a movie I clearly will not give any stars. It is
0 stars to give.
It is a terrible movie.
Unless it's like middle of the night, free on
No,
HBO,
I will never
and
watch
you're
this again.
on acid and you want to.
There's so much better you can do. There's so many better movies to choose.
But it's
Go watch the 1998 version.
Yeah.
Just watch that instead. Why watch this? I'm not saying Cats is a bad show.
No.
Because
I've never seen
the show, and like I said, I've only seen it in the video
I feel like
form.
I should see the other one now.
They work with what they have, and they work within the parameters of theater, and everybody takes it seriously and such. This is a based on a Broadway show.
And they were flying
that ran for 18 years and had a revival like 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And on Broadway, and it took them. How old am I? 37. So it took them 37 years. Well, actually 38 years because it came out in London in 81. So I did my research on this. So it came out. So 38 years it took them to make a movie about this. That wasn't based on the Broadway show, actual movie production. And this is what we got.
This is what they did.
We just watched a movie, well, now 2 months ago because it was November, where they de-aged tons of actors. And really made them look good. And they put the money into it and did it. They did though. Overall,
they did a lot better job than Cats did.
Yeah, deep fake cats is what I'm calling it. So, but we just watched that movie, and then you get to this huge production of Cats, the longest running show in Broadway history, and this is what we got. And it was complete and utter terrible.
It was garbage.
It was a dumpster fire is what it was.
Dumpster fire.
So
that you didn't even want to put out. Like you just had, like I couldn't take my eyes off the screen the whole time. Most of the time I was like, but what? The whole time.
I kept thinking, because there was a few people who kept shining flashlights from their camera in my eyes. And I was just like, you're not ruining Cats for me, but you're stopping me from having it ruined for me.
Right.
Like the movie's going to ruin itself, so
right.
Just stop shining your light in my eyes so I can watch this and review this movie, because it was a special request. Thank you, Margaret, a listener who requested us to go see Cats, and we did. And we blame you. So, but hey, as bad as we knew going into this, and as bad as we know having coming out of it, and not finding any merit in it whatsoever, because like I said, I always look for stuff in a movie when I go see it to see what are some saving grace points. I found none in this movie. James Corden still hasn't even seen the movie, and he doesn't plan to.
Well, I like the tap dance, but that's the thing. Like, I loved the dancing, and but again, it was were they actually dancing?
They were dancing, but it was the visual effects were thrown off because, of course, it was done on a green screen set.
Right.
But they didn't shade it properly. The compositing is off, so nothing looked right, and it was just weird.
It was
the entire way through. It was just poorly done, and I will never see it again. But
no, why would you see it? I mean, I had no intention of seeing it the first time. Yes.
Again, thank you for the
Margaret.
request. And if you have any other requests, we'll go see that, because that's what we do for our listeners.
That is what we do.
With that being said,
we got to go to a movie. We had a nice date night with each other.
We did have a
laughed
nice date
and
night.
Poked and.
Yes. I do agree with that. We at least got laughs out of it. Yeah. That's for sure. But check out our full review.
And we'll always have memories.
No, don't. I can't take that. Please go check out our full review on and just the podcast in general. We do more on there, and check out our other podcasts on it's Marriage Like That podcast, but check out our other podcasts on the Scene Snobs.
TheSceneSnobs.com.
Okay, and thanks for checking this one out, and we will talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.